Not gonna brace for disappointment before the story's even started. I'm not gonna hold my breath waiting for something to go wrong. Not gonna second guess all the dreams I've wanted. Lately been noticing a different story forming. So when opportunity knocks, I'm not surprised. I sit back and smile and say, of course it worked out. Of course I found my way. Of course good things found me. Of course the answer came. Of course it's falling into place. Of course. Some people call it luck. For me it's ordinary. I'm living the day looks, and more is on the way. Now all the signs are green. I'm trusting what's unseen. I know the life I wanna live is making its way to me, and trust looks beautiful on me. Of course it worked out. Of course I found my way. Of course good things found me. Of course the answer came. Of course it's falling into place. Of course. Of course I am supported. Of course I am provided for. Of course I am guided. Of course the blessings pour. Of course the path appeared the moment I was ready to walk it. Of course life is unfolding this perfectly for me. Of course I see the beauty. Of course I guarantee. Of course it worked out. Of course I found my way. Of course good things found me. Of course the answer came. Of course it's falling into place. Of course it worked out. Of course it worked out. Of course I found my way. Of course good things found me. Of course the answer came. Of course it's falling into place. Of course. Will it work out? Of course. I used to think miracles would arrive with lightning, a headline, a grand entrance, something impossible to miss. But there they were, waiting in the quiet, patient as the morning light, hidden in the little moments I kept walking by. A call from an old friend, 5 minutes at just the right time, a deep breath before the answer, a door I almost didn't try. Wonder has never been rare. I've just been looking too far away. There's ordinary magic in the rhythm of the day, in every little moment that quietly finds its place. A heart that keeps on healing, a dream that never fades. The universe is speaking in ways I've come to know. Nothing is too small to become I choose to notice the ordinary magic. The kettle starts to whistle, sunlight fills the room. I laugh till I forget the sadness I've moved through. The seed beneath the surface doesn't need applause. It simply keeps becoming exactly what it was. Maybe life's greatest gifts don't arrive wrapped in certainty. Maybe they arrive as an internal peace that settles where fear used to live. Now every day feels full of quiet invitations to pay attention. There's ordinary magic in the rhythm of the day, in every little moment that quietly finds its place. A heart that keeps on healing, a dream that never fades. The universe is speaking in ways I've come to know. Nothing is too small to become a miracle. When I choose to notice the ordinary magic, the smile you almost missed, the lesson inside the delay, the stranger holding the door, the courage to try again, the peace that follows surrender, the laughter in today, the morning you awake feeling lighter, shining brighter. There's ordinary magic in the rhythm of the day, in every little moment that quietly finds its place. A heart that keeps on healing, a dream that never fades. The universe is speaking in ways I've come to know. Nothing is too small to become a miracle. When I choose to notice the ordinary magic. Don't let this setback convince you that yesterday was wasted. Don't let one hard morning rewrite everything you've built. Look how far you've carried us. Look how much we've learned. Remember all the steps you took, and when you kept your word. You're the one who stayed when others walked away. You ready for the change and know that it's your turn. So breathe. It might not be easy, but this isn't the time to let up. Hold the line. Don't let fear make the final call. Hold the line. You built too much to let it fall. Keep your word, keep your faith, keep your feet moving anyway. You've planted the seed, now trust in the rain. Hold the line. Remember the affirmations you whispered when you thought nobody was listening. Remember the flutter inside your heart when you think about the vision. Those weren't just pretty words, and yes, the universe heard. Brick by brick, day by day, you taught your heart another way. So now it's time to test your faith. Keep believing there will be a way. There's a greater power that's at play. Don't abandon the vision, move forward with wisdom. Keep your determination. Don't stop, yeah. Hold the line. Don't let fear make the final call. Hold the line. today's storm. Take one more step with conviction, then leave the outcome in hands greater than your own. Keep believing, keep it coming, keep showing up. Keep your promise, keep your heart open, keep your eyes lifted. Hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. This is not where the story ends. Hey, hey, hold the line. The unseen is beginning to bend. Every prayer, every choice, every quiet act of faith has been building to this moment, greater than you know. Don't let fear make the final call. You built too much to let it fall. Keep your word, keep your faith, keep your feet moving anyway. You've planted the seed, now trust in the rain. Hold the line. One day, you'll look back at this morning and realize it wasn't the day everything fell apart. It was the day everything began to come together. When the vision's blurry and I can't see beyond today, when the load feels heavy and I don't know which way to take, I sit with the silence instead of rushing for an answer. I close my eyes, take a breath, and ask a different question. What would I do if I saw through wiser eyes? What would I do if I trusted the life inside me? What would I choose if fear wasn't holding the pen? What would I do if I remembered who I am again? What would I see that I'm missing right now? What can I learn? What is this moment trying to teach? I wouldn't panic, I wouldn't fret. I'd stand back and smile, knowing somehow there's opportunity I haven't noticed yet. What would I do if I saw this through wiser eyes? What would I do if I trusted the life inside me? What would I choose if fear wasn't holding the pen? What would I do if I remembered who I am again? Maybe I'd rest, maybe I begin, maybe I forgive, maybe I speak, maybe I trust, maybe I release, maybe I'd stop trying to carry the whole world alone. Maybe I'd remember I'm supported, I am guided. I'd remember it's already done. Whoa, what would I do if I knew everything was working out? What would I do if I believed I was already enough? called it a closed door, but what if it was a new direction? You called it bad timing, but what if it was protection? You called it a setback, because that's all you could see. This drawback will propel you into all that you can be. Take another breath before you decide, 'cause there's more to this moment than meets the eye. Look again, the answer might be hiding in the place you stop believing. Look again, the road is still unfolding even if you cannot see it. Look again, it's not the end, it's leading somewhere new. What's working for you? Where you saw failure, we saw a lesson. You felt frustration, we saw determination. You heard the silence, we heard your dreams. Look a little closer, you'll find opportunity. The evidence is all around, just have to train your what's working for you. Look for the lesson instead of the loss. Look for the doorway instead of the wall. Look for the kindness that found you today. Look for the courage, 'cause you've already prayed. Look again, the answer might be hiding in the place you stop believing. Look again, the road is still unfolding even if you cannot see it. Look again, it's not the end, it's leading somewhere new. Look again, start noticing what's working for you. Before you can see it, believe it, then look again. I thought it was that the strongest people never lost their way, never questioned who they were, never nights they couldn't pray. But I've watched the years unfold and I've learned something true. The ones who keep on moving know what they need to do. When the ground gives way beneath them, they don't call it the end. They gather every lesson and they begin again. Not with empty hands, not with borrowed hope, but carrying every mile that brought them growth. That's the difference. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you take the call. Hey, that's the difference. Even setbacks leave a sign. You take the strength you've earned with you on the climb. How many times can you pick yourself up? How much more life do you have in your cup? That's the difference. They decided I won't quit, so I have to go again. But now I walk in knowing I'm closer than I've been. I've heard every version of doubt, I know the words it says, but now I answer with my heart that's stronger than the voice in my head. It tells me I can get back up, it refuses to stay stuck. The choice to keep on going is what creates my luck. Experience is a quiet teacher, and its lessons never leave. That's the difference. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you take the call. Hey, that's the difference. Even setbacks leave a sign. You take the strength you've earned with you on the climb. How many times can you pick yourself up? How much more life do you have in your cup? That's the difference. Oh, that's the difference. So when tomorrow ends, will you try again? Smile, because you already know the answer is yes. You'll survive harder days, you've climbed steeper hills. Even when thought you were breaking, you chose to try again. That's the difference. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you take the call. Hey, that's the difference. Even setbacks leave a sign. Take the strength you've earned with you on the climb. How many times can you pick yourself up? How much more life do you have in your cup? That's the difference. That's the difference. Only you know how many times you chose to begin again.